WBVP Beaver Falls, 1460 WMBA Ambridge, and also on 99.3 FM.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
The following program is for mature and logical audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Play YMCA. Go ahead. Let's go. Nice and loud.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Thinking Logically. It's your host, Joseph Anthony Corsai. There are weeks when nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. This week already seems to be one of those weeks where decades are happening. Too much to cover today. Too much. Supposedly, Elon Musk is starting his own political party. Also, as promised, the FBI has released a 10-hour plus video of the outside of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. And not only do they say he did not kill himself, but there were no Epstein tapes, apparently. Also, we'll have a segment on immigration, I'm sure. We had a shooter target Border Patrol today. We'll get into that in the third segment. But let's first cover what we saw over the holiday weekend. So, Ryan, how are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well, my man. I'm doing well. As far as my baseball team goes, they were looking real good last week, and they followed that up by being shut out 3 times over the weekend.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but you did. 7-3. Okay. Let's talk UFC 4th of July, the 250th. This is the 249th anniversary. Did you see what Trump said for the 250th, what he plans on having? He's going to talk to Dana White and having UFC, bringing the octagon to the White House lawn and having UFC fights. I think did he say Putin versus Zelensky? Is that what he said? I don't know. Kim Jong-un versus, I don't know who's going to be the matchups.
Puts you in mind of the old celebrity death matches on MTV.
That's exactly what it would be like. He also, and I'm surprised they didn't compare Trump, the media didn't compare Trump to Hitler when he said this, because Hitler tried something similar, having the high school athletes across different states compete over 4th of July weekend next year. I don't know if it would be track, field, football, what, but another interesting thing. So again, a year away, but the 250th anniversary of our nation looks like it could be very fun, very exciting weekend. So what else did we see? The big, beautiful bill. It passed. So no more taxes on tips, overtime. Also, no more healthcare for illegal aliens. What do you think about that, audience? Right, we get a little clap up for that one. All right, hey. Former president of the United States, though, Barack Hussein Obama, I don't think he liked the fact that was happening. So he posted a tweet about the big, beautiful bill before it was passed. I think it was on July 2nd. July 3rd, maybe. He said this: more than 16 million Americans are at risk of losing their health care because Republicans in Congress are rushing to pass a bill that would cut federal funding for Medicare and weaken the Affordable Care Act. If the House passes this bill, it will increase costs and hurt working class families for generations to come. Call your representative today and tell them to vote no on this bill. Wow. You know, that's rich coming from the dude who fined Americans for not having health insurance. Think about that for a second, audience. Under Obamacare, Americans were fined for not having health insurance. Now in 2025, we learned that, we find out we've been giving health insurance for free to illegal aliens. Meanwhile, you were getting fined for not having it. Let's dive a little deeper. How many Americans lost their health insurance because of Obamacare? I don't know, but I think it was a little bit more than 16 million Americans. Audience, Ryan, you might remember this. I don't know if our audience members. I remember Nancy Pelosi on the House floor, about 15 some odd years ago, saying, quote, "We need to pass this bill to find out what's in it," talking about Obamacare. Meanwhile, we just covered this last episode. The big, beautiful bill was literally read word for word on the Senate floor and on the House floor. So what the hell is Obama talking about here? Again, Obamacare kicked Americans off their health insurance. at the same time, we were subsidizing free health insurance for illegals. Meanwhile, if you didn't get health insurance through Obamacare, which you were forced to, you were fined, while illegals got it for free. And Obama has the nerve to put out that tweet. 16 million Americans at risk. Give me a break. This is why I wish to God, I pray to God actually, that we could get that amendment flipped, repealed, so it could be Obama versus Trump in 2028. Let him 3 terms, please. All right, what else did we see over the weekend? I was all over social media. Ryan, you know who Randy Weingartner is? It's like Rookie of the Year, Garden Hoser.
I do not know.
Randy, we covered her on the show before. So Randy Weingartner, she's the head of the teachers union. And while I'm telling the story about Randy Weingartner, remember, she and the rest of the Democrats have been screaming like maniacs. Ever since Linda McMahon has started making moves to end the Department of Education, they've been screaming like maniacs that if you get rid of the Department of Education, kids are going to magically become retarded. Kids in this country just aren't going to get a proper education. Ryan, do you know what a proper education is?
By definition, I do not.
Learn how to speak, spell, etc. It's not that hard,
yes.
okay? Well, let me read this tweet by Randy Weingartner that she posted on social media, on X actually. This is what she wrote out. And I'm going to read it for you guys. And I'm going to read it as it's written. Hoping this 4th, and it's the number 4, and then the letters RTH. So 4 RTH of July, the sun starts peeking through again. And she spelled peeking P-E-A-K-I-N-G instead of peeking P-E-E-K-I-N-G. And in case you weren't paying attention, audience, Ryan, whoever, this is the head of the teachers union. She's proving Linda McMahon and the Trump administration right. She's proving them correct just by tweeting, just by speaking. Why do we need to waste money on the Department of Education when the head of it can't even spell peeking? I'll bet she can spell her pronouns, though. I bet she can spell he, she, they, them correctly, because that's all the Department of Education seems to care about these days. Woke stuff. But they didn't got worse. Because everyone was commenting on this X post, so I think she deleted it and then rewrote the post. And the next one, it was, I think it was a picture of the American flag, and it said, "This is one of my favorite pictures of the American flag with the sun peeking, with peeking still spelled wrong. If it was peaking in the air as a summit. If this shows us anything, it's that a big government agency headed by, sorry for lack of it, retards is exactly what we don't need helping our children in this country. Let's bring it back to the community level. Let's bring it back to local libraries and stuff like that. Give me a break, Ryan. I mean, would you have, be honest, you might have spotted it, like peaking. But when do we start talking like this? 4th. Letter
right.
4 RTH. It's fine for me and you, like in a text.
Yes, exactly.
But for the head of the Department of Education, which is about to be defunct thanks to Linda McMahon off the top rope, shouldn't you try to get the spelling correctly? I know we're about to move to Spanish in a couple years and everything, so what's it matter if they had their way? But
if anybody should get it, I mean, come on, she should certainly be spelling her words correctly. Again, between you and I mean, we could have the worst spelling in the world, but you know,
this is the head of the Department of Education.
Exactly.
And not only is she spelling words wrong, she's not even peeking. Like, come on. All right. Okay, let's move on. We'll talk about what happened out in Texas, sadly, over the weekend. So there was a major flood, in case you haven't heard. And of course, and this makes me absolutely sick, the first thing the media and the Democrats, the first thing they all did was blame Trump. I've heard it's because of the Doge cuts. They had no warning because no one was working at the weather stations. Wrong. That was all wrong. Fake news has struck again. So I think, who was it? The San Angelo National Weather Service predicted possible flooding a full day in advance. This is all documented. Austin, San Antonio, and San Angelo National Weather Service's office issued a flood watch roughly around 12 hours before any flooding. The National Weather Service also issued a flood warning about 3 hours before flooding occurred. National Weather Service also issued a flood. I'm reading all these. Emergency at 4:30 in the morning. Well, there was still time to get to higher ground in most areas. The union, even the union that represents these employees, they said both offices in San Antonio and San Angelo were adequately staffed and resourced. So there goes that narrative to the media that the Doge cuts. There was no one working there. It was just an empty building. So why, when Americans are dying, including women and children, as we've learned, why is the news media, why is their first reaction, the first news reports, they're all negative to the administration while also trying to pin the blame on the president of the United States? Keep in mind, all these fake news reports that happened on Saturday, Sunday, they're all debunked already. But why are they doing this?
Joe, I think it's all they have. I'm going to be honest with you. If you ever have
Good point. Go.
Have you ever heard Democrats, I mean, recently, talk about policy, talk about any how they envision nothing? Everything that comes out of their mouth is Trump hatred.
High school lies. High school rumors and lies.
Everything. There's a flood. Oh, it's Trump's fault. There's a war. Oh, it's Trump's fault.
Okay, we've had flooding around here.
Absolutely.
We've had, and when I talk about flooding, I mean a couple things, but we've had flooding around here. That one road, how long has it been gone for? Did we get any warning for that? Did we get any advanced warning for that? Someone could have been killed. Would that have been Trump's fault if someone was? No. The warnings are out. I missed the warnings. Do you miss the tornado warnings, the tornado watches, everything like that? Is it Trump's fault? Is it our government's fault? Believe me, our government's responsible for a lot. There's a lot that could be blamed on our government. I don't know about this. You saw the videos on the internet. Maybe you did. I don't know. Some of those, it's literally 4 minutes, 5, 6, 7 minutes, and the water is like from ankle high to about chest high. And I don't know if you've ever been in floodwater before. Once it gets about knee, waist high, you're going.
Right.
You're and if you're not going, something's hitting you and sending you along the path. I don't know. Every time there's a shooter, every time there's a fire that turns into a shooter that lured firefight. The media always tries to blame it on Trump.
It's incredible what's going on. I've never seen anything like this.
And then the news story vanished, just poof. They magically vanished from the news cycle when you never get any answers. What was the shooting in Utah with the fire? The guy who started a fire.
Yeah.
Remember, his parents were big Trump supporters. That was Trump's fault. Then there was the Minnesota maniac the week before, was going to people's doorsteps, shooting them dead. And that was Trump. Whatever happened with that, by the way? He said he had connections to Tim Walz. If we have a caller, just send him over. We have a caller. Robert?
Hello?
Yes, who's this?
Yes, this is Rob. I think Weingartner,
Yes?
I think she has reached her peak and needs to go.
She's needed well, can Linda McMahon...
EK.
Linda McMahon should put her through a table ladders and chairs match for the Department of Education. Listen, she's spelling, Weingartner's spelling like she's been in a couple WWE matches herself.
Maybe it could be an early
Yes, and it's also it's San Angelo, Texas.
Well, I'm sorry, San Angelo, what did I say?
Yeah, you didn't say it right. I'm just,
Well, I'm notorious.
I'm from Texas. I kind of correct people.
I'm notorious for saying things wrong.
You grew up in San Antonio and everything, so.
Maybe that will be a nice early card match for the front yard of the White House next year.
Oh, what do you think about that call? We could have on the White House lawn.
No.
Casket match. Linda McMahon versus
go.
Randy.
I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden rises up out of that casket.
Oh, Joe Biden could come back in the urn.
I think it should be a falls count anywhere. Hardcore match.
We could do a lot of things. This is going to be the 250th year anniversary is going to be so fun, especially when you have things like this. Honestly, all on the line: the Department of Education retirement match, Linda McMahon versus Randy Weingartner. I mean, come on, is it Weingartner? Am I saying that right? I keep on thinking of Rookie of the Year, Gardenhoser, Rosengardner.
Well, Linda McMahon is putting the Department of Education out, so she's going to retire. And Weingartner, she would lose, so she would retire. So there you go.
Both right off into the sunset. One, of course, in a casket. We say that we have to say that figuratively because we're not liberals. We don't want to actually throw her in a casket and bury her and kill her. We got to make sure. But well, anything else, caller? You? I'm sorry. What would you say your name was again? Rob? Ron.
Rob, yes.
Okay. Anything else you want to touch on?
It's another thing about pronouncing words. Not for y'all, but for like the morning show.
Okay.
God, they're terrible. They're terrible.
You know what? I have to say, whenever, unless I have it in front of me, like enunciated out, sometimes I'll practice 100 times and I'll still say it wrong. I don't know what it is.
No, I understand.
It makes you feel for Joe Biden a little bit, but at least I mentally hear, and it is me, and it's not an auto pen here writing this stuff out. It actually is me speaking and talking and coming up with these thoughts, at least, I guess. So you have that.
Yeah, the whole Joe Biden thing is just. I'm hoping people go to jail.
Well, okay.
Him and his wife for elder abuse.
Who do you think was running the auto pen? Do you think it was like a smorgasbord of people? Do you think, because there's no way it was just Jill. There's no way that it probably wasn't Kamala. They probably didn't let her anywhere close to the Oval Office, I'm sure. Or the desk. Could it have been Hunter? Remember, we got them crack pipes that were subsidized through the government. That was kind of random.
I mean, one aide or something admit that she had control of it from. Yeah,
but she's probably just taking the fall. She's probably just going to be paid to say that, to take the fall. Low level one, just take the hit. I'm telling you, it was Obama or someone up there. It was someone like that calling the shots. It's just like the mafia, though. It's 3 degrees of separation. You understand what I mean? It's
right.
They're not going to do. They're not going to go. They're going to do all the stuff in person, all the talking in person. That's why they talk at funerals and weddings. But I think we have another caller. Rob, I'm sorry. Rob, I'm sorry I have to let you go. Anything else before we let you go?
No, that's going to be it. Thanks.
Thank you for your call. Call back in anytime, please.
Great call, Rob.
Great show.
Thank you. Who do we have next?
Dawn.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Dawn?
I'm all right. I'm after one-party Republican rule. I'm not going to lie to you. Hey, we ought to take show the kids in high school film and say, if you vote Republican and go get a job and quit whining about Medicare cuts, you might find a wife just like Kristi Noem. But if you vote Democrat, you might end up with a wife like Dr. Rachel Levine.
I didn't even know who you were going to pick, but I threw up my mouth a little bit because you picked the worst one.
Imagine being 18 years old and being out with one of your buddies and 2 girls walk up to the car. Are you going to fist fight your best friend if that's the alternative?
I agree.
I mean, that's just a terrible-looking woman. They make fun of us, don't they, the Democrats?
Oh yeah, they think they're better than us. They definitely think they're smarter than us.
This can't be true. Somebody told me. Remember, I have no internet, no television. I got to see Kristi Noem finally somewhere else on television. What the hell did my one buddy tell me? Now I forget what it is. I got so excited making jokes, I forgot. I think I'm eligible to be president now.
There you go. Do you have the auto pen writing the jokes for you?
Joe Biden did 4 years like that, didn't he?
That's right. He had the auto pen writing the jokes, though.
Oh, man. Didn't that previous caller say they hope is someone going to jail or not?
This year in 2025, probably, again, we just talked about the judges last episode. How are you going to send anyone to jail when Trump can't even deport anyone? As soon as it gets in front of one of these judges that are Obama appointed, it's over. It's getting thrown out. They'll find a way to weasel out of it. They'll get thrown out on something.
Didn't the Supreme Court say that, they can't go judge shopping anymore?
Correct, but you see they're still trying stuff because all they want to do is buy time for some reason. It's like the midterms are still over a year away. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much time they
I had
figured by.
forgotten that he fined people that didn't. How do you fine people that don't have health care? That is exactly like fining people that can't afford to feed themselves.
Well, you forget too,
Exactly.
small mom and pop shop businesses were forced to lay off people because they couldn't afford to pay for the health insurance and get health insurance. People, and again, I almost had to get Obamacare. I got into the labor union right after it started, but I was looking at something. I don't know. My deductible was something crazy, like $10,000 or $20,000, and it sounds crazy. I'm not joking around. That was like my deductible, I think. And I forget what.
What do they call that? Catastrophic insurance.
Yeah.
You're good for the first $20,000. Give me a break. No, wait a minute. Insurance is only really expensive because of all the regulations. Correct.
Correct. There's like a bunch of bookies too.
Now, here's where our money's going. Many places our money's going. One is in Ohio. There's legislation pending. Now, I saw this on TV too. They want it so you can call that 988, and if it's extreme enough, you can have a psychiatrist come to the house. Okay, I've never heard of such a thing. I have empathy for anyone that's nuts, but what if I think it's a constitutional right to get a pedicure at 3:00 in the morning?
Or a
Do you
massage.
think the taxpayers should pay for that?
Or a massage, because you could actually make that argument, a therapeutic massage.
Well, not from Rachel Levine. That's all. I am not even joking. That is the difference between the modern Republicans and the Democrats, Kristi Noem and Dr. Rachel Levine.
I've heard of
That
happy
is the
endings, but
difference.
that is a scary ending. It's a jump. You give me over and over a jump scare because her picture of her smiling face always pops into my head. Dawn, I'm sorry.
Oh, dear Lord.
We got to take a commercial.
I better go say some prayers or something, right?
And wash your mouth out too. We got to take a commercial.
You guys take care.
You too.
Thanks, Dawn.
When we come back, we're going to come back. We got another call, Jim. We come back. We're busy today on what is the first week of July. Things are getting hotter by the day. Stay tuned. You're listening to Thinking Logically on 99.3 FM WBVP. It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. Two things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond.
Tune in to the Beaver County Radio Morning Show with Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. The show is presented by Patriot Home Care. Frank and Scott will get you caught up on what's going on in the world with news, sports, and entertainment, along with playing some of your favorite tunes, including Pittsburgh area bands. They'll also have monthly guests and weekly features like Backyard Beaver County, notes on entertainment. So make plans every weekday morning to jump out of bed, put on a fresh pot of coffee, and tune in to the Beaver County Morning Show with Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey here on Beaver County Radio.
Have you ever wanted to work in radio? Well, now is your chance. St. Barnabas Broadcasting is a network of 11 radio stations, and we are looking for account executives to introduce St. Barnabas Broadcasting and digital media to new prospective clients and grow existing ones. Experience in sales is preferred. Interested prospective candidates can apply by sending their resume to fsparks@beavercountyradio.com or by calling 724-444-JOBS.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. We got another caller. I believe it's recurring caller Jim. Jim, is that it?
Hello.
How are you, sir? Welcome back.
I'm fine.
Thank you. We finding a way to weasel out. You're absolutely not wrong, and that's so well said, because freedom of speech is not here anymore, and they control everything, or they try to shoot mortar ABC bullets into every moment they get. And anyhow, how do you know about that? How do you know about the lady that was misspelling words?
Oh, I have social media, and she wrote it out on there.
Oh, I don't have it.
Yeah,
you know what? This is just my opinion. I am not covering up for nobody, but this is my opinion. People they are allergic to editing, they are allergic to proofreading, and they use microphone texting. And if you say heinous, it will come out penis or whatever. I mean, it's not very good. And Obama's got balls bigger than a charging rhinoceros or a what do they call themselves, a Santa Gertrudis bull, because he opened up an avenue by wanting to change America fundamentally, and then fundamentally changing America was getting everybody to take up hobby of a lion. So he just figured out he'd be their big role model. And ever since then, he only pops in and does all the mouthy stuff when it's 2 seconds till it doesn't count.
Yeah. One other thing, too. Do you remember whenever the one representative, I can't remember his name, stood up in the middle of the State of the Union and said, "You lie," and everyone booed him, and it turns out that guy was right. Obama was lying, and he was lying about a lot. And that's just one little thing now, but like you go back. I don't think I'd be able to survive if I went back a decade, even 2 decades ago. How we were, like the news media, everything. Once you know how fake it is, once you've watched the last decade and you really see how fake everyone is, it's like it's all a show. They're all like actors. And you wonder why they get paid so much money, because that's what they need to be paid, to lie like that. I mean,
last week Trump was saying if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have any news coverage.
And he's right. He's absolutely right. And honestly, I even go back and think sometimes, is Trump even on this? Because he has, you never know. You never know. Do I think he is? No. But like, I wonder, like, if I like black pill, like, is this just one giant distraction for some event that's coming 5-10 years from now? But
well, speaking of the future, I'm sure that Donald Trump will do something crazy. If he's going to have himself a chain link boxing match up there for death, he'll probably invite Ted Nugent to do the opening ceremonies and sing "The Great White Buffalo."
I would like to see Trump go up against someone. Him and actually Obama. I would like to see, because you never seen Trump shirtless like Biden on the beach. I'd like to see Trump, who's I've heard a big intermittent faster, take off his shirt and just shock everyone. This whole time he's wearing a bodysuit, and he actually has like a 6-pack abs and is totally like jacked. And tan like and orange and extremely tan and orange like a bodybuilder.
He's probably getting a personal trainer right now from Robert.
Yeah. All you got to do is switch up your food. Now that's a start right there. Cut out the McDonald's.
I will give you the best start. I've been reading this book called "I Want to Share It with Everybody." In fact, I would figure out how to get you a copy of it so you can read it and talk about it on the air. If they were to put this book out now, the pharmaceutical people would want to ban it. They would not want to know about this. And in chapter 1, they talk about mindlessness. And this book's whole focus is about dementia and about Alzheimer's. And in the first chapter, they're covering it from the 1950s. And this guy and his wife get grants to go to Europe to study Alzheimer's in European nursing homes. And his mom comes down with forgetfulness and loses her eyesight. And in 90 days, he has her cured. And in the second chapter, it's called Pseudo-Senility. And the name of this book is called Nutrients to Age Without Senility. And one of the biggest things I've learned from reading this book is vitamin B1, which is, what is it called? It's called, I can't remember what it's called this second, but it metabolizes sugar. And they say that this with this, that when these guys are having the DTs, they can inject them with this, and it's gone. The DTs are gone. They said they should put it in vodka, beer, and wine, and these guys would most likely not have the TDs.
Interesting.
The DTs.
That's rather interesting. It's called Nutrients to Age Without Senility.
Nutrients to Age Without Senility. And Chapter 3 introduces all about processed foods, how long it's been going on, and it covers mainly 4 sections in this book. It covers niacin, it covers thiamine, that's vitamin 1, niacin, vitamin B1, niacin, vitamin B3, and it covers vitamin E. And also the biggest topic is this thing called food artifacts. And this book just reveals one thing after the other. And since thiamine processes and metabolizes sugar, that would be sensible if you took this stuff. You would be metabolizing your sugar, you would be using your energy and not storing fat, and people would start losing weight just from getting addicted to thiamine.
I believe it. I mean, the book I see right now, published in the late 70s, early 80s, 79, 80. Yeah.
1984.
Well,
and it was written by one PhD psychiatrist and 2 PhD nutritionists. And these people have a mouthful. They don't shut up. This is a good book. You might need a medical dictionary to read a couple of their $12 words, but I'm in Chapter 8.
Well, I'm going to have to check this one out because I do the intermittent fasting and stuff like that too. And that definitely has helped with, I have more energy now. Just from that. Mm-hmm. So, and regulate your insulin levels and stuff like that. But how
long do you fast for?
Sometimes, usually I do 16 hours a day. Sometimes I do up to 24. I've done a 48 a couple times.
I've done it for as long as 6 weeks.
Wow. Do you do bone broth or no?
I did it for 10 days the last time because I wanted to make Heritage look like a bunch of idiots when I was having World War IV going on in my gut with food poisoning. They wanted to take out my appendix.
Now, do you do the bone broth after like 3 or 4 days, or you just go no food at all?
Whatever is the least hard to digest is what you should start with. And all these dummies, they want you to start with yogurt, or with Jell-O, stuff like that. But that's reintroducing sugar.
No, I just honestly do. I do bone broth, and then if I go longer than like 24, 36 hours, I'll do bone broth, and then maybe like an hour or two later, I'll do like an egg and an avocado or something like that. And then I'll just do like my normal food. I'll try to eat like good food, like steak or something, not like processed McDonald's for my first, good meal. But that's all. It's very simple, and I feel a lot better. I lost 20 pounds.
You using homemade bone broth?
I got the kind that Dana White actually suggested it. I have this app, and it's the cleanest you can get. There's like no sugars. There's nothing in it. It's like 30 calories.
I make my own.
Really? I don't know if I have.
And this is how you can do it. Because I'm not diabetic, and I believe diabetes does not run in families. I believe hard-headedness and stupid runs in families because they don't want to give up their food. And I was carrying 20 pounds overweight for a while, and I made this homemade broth, and I put it on all my food for 90 days, and I dropped 20 pounds because it reset my pancreas and it declined my glycemic index.
It's all about the pancreas because if you're producing insulin, you literally cannot burn fat. Your body will not burn fat as long as it's producing insulin. That's why hormones matter too. The body's a very complex and crazy thing. That's why we were built by God. Anything else before I let you go there, James?
Friendly.
What's that?
No, but we'll visit again soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Okay. All right, bye-bye.
Okay, let's shamelessly read a promo here for His Place in Bridgewater. His Place, where community wellness and purpose come together. His Place was built in 1907. It's formerly a church. It's now a beautifully restored veteran-led venue. His Place is more than a building. It's a movement for healing, hope, and health. Looking for the ideal place to host your next event? Try His Place at 908 Market Street in Bridgewater. They have everything you need for hosting corporate events, weddings, showers, birthdays, you name it. So call 878-201-3098. That's 878-201-3098 and book your date today. That's His Place at 908 Market Street in Bridgewater. All right, we got about 10 more minutes this segment. I want to get to the Epstein stuff, but before I do, let's talk about this. The man that said President Trump was actually in the Epstein files, Elon Musk. So apparently Elon Musk is going to start his own political party, and it's going to be called the America Party. Now, audience, who do you think is more likely to join this new political party, the America Party? Trump's base, a.k.a. MAGA Republicans, Or, some of those people, let's not forget, they've been with Trump for over a decade, and the numbers are getting bigger and bigger every single year. So are we going to lose MAGA Republicans to this new party, or are all the fake rhino Republicans, and maybe more importantly, some Democrats that are getting sick of the woke side of the Democrat Party, are they going to join this new America Party? I mean, look at this. Elon Musk posted this on social media about starting the party. And I look at the people that responded. Mark Cuban responded and said, quote, "This is awesome. I work with voter choice. They will get you on ballots. That is their mission." Audience, is Mark Cuban part of Trump's base, or is he a Democrat? Here's another one. Ryan, remember the mooch, Anthony Scaramucci?
Yes.
He was fired in 5 days in Trump's administration.
Yes.
He responded and said, "Yes, we're going to create the American Party. I would like to meet to discuss. My DMs are open." Anthony Scaramucci hates President Trump. So, right, the writing's on the wall. This is going to spell the end for the Democrat Party, if anything. All the Democrats that aren't far left maniacs, they're going to look to move to another party, or at least flirt with the idea and get curious about leaving. None of MAGA is going to leave. Just none of MAGA left for Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek during the primary. None of them left. A few people might have left, but once the primary was over and Trump won, they came right back. Elon and Trump, though, we don't know if this friction, we don't know if it's WWF, kayfabe, we don't know what it is. It's real. I want to read a post from this account on X, Clandestine. And he says this, and it's rather interesting and it aligns with what I've been saying on this show. He says, "I still don't think this Elon betrayal thing is real. Elon is not an idiot. He knows Trump is the resistance to the deep state. He knows what's at stake. I think Elon is making a very public sting to create the illusion of distance. So when Tesla and his other companies start booming under Trump's new economy and in the future, Elon can avoid any accusations of insider trading. The critics won't be able to say Trump was helping his billionaire buddy because they appear to be opposed to each other. Whether anyone likes it or not, Elon is not going anywhere. His work with SpaceX is paramount to the national security and U.S. space dominance. His work with Twitter, X, is paramount to defending free speech on social media, maintaining public perception of unbrainwashing the masses, and his work with Tesla is paramount to the future of robotics and transportation. His work with AI is paramount to the advancement of human civilization. Elon is not going anywhere. Elon is extremely important to humanity's future. And if Trump's economic plan works, Elon is going to be the single largest beneficiary. Elon's companies are going to start booming even more than before. All of Elon's companies will be extremely vital to the growth of this nation. I think this little spat is a giant ruse. So when Elon's net worth starts to skyrocket, he could say he had nothing to do with this at all. Elon could say he publicly opposed the tariffs, and Trump himself. Elon is absolving himself of any involvement in the moves that will ultimately benefit him and his companies. Trump has proven time and time again he'll engage in public theater, or kayfabe, if it is beneficial for optic reasons. And that's what we said literally weeks ago on this program. It reminds me the last time Elon was in the Oval Office on his last day. Ryan, maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Everyone remembers the black eye. Remember he was wearing two hats? Elon was wearing a hat on top of another hat. And Trump said to Elon, "I love the double hat, by the way. You know, Elon, you're the only one that can get away with it." And Elon says, "They say I wear a lot of hats. I do. Even my hat has a hat." In slang, a person that wears a lot of hats is a person that does numerous things. Is he acting? I don't know. Is this all kayfabe? WWF old school? I don't know. I just find it weird that Elon brought up the Epstein stuff, said Trump was in the Epstein files, media never touched it. Out of all the things to go after Trump for that, right?
Right, yeah.
All right, let's we're going to do we'll do this Epstein stuff real quick before we head to a break. So President Trump's Justice Department and the FBI, they concluded today that they have no evidence Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures and kept a, quote, client list, or he was murdered. That's according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. I saw the memo, and if you get a chance, read the memo, but it was addressed to nobody at the end. Usually it has like Kash Patel or Dan Bongino's signature. It was just on the Axios website, no signature, nothing at the bottom, addressed to nobody. I don't know. Maybe all these billionaires were just going to the island for a nice spa day and a schwitz. What do you think, Ryan? I don't know. So Jeffrey Epstein, if I understand this correctly, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, even though it looks like there was a good chance he'd get off due to lack of evidence.
You're right. Boy, this sure took a turn.
They just said they have, after Diddy, too. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
They just said they have no evidence. I guess that doesn't mean maybe they said they have no evidence. Maybe there was evidence that was deleted. Maybe the last administration destroyed it or something. I don't know. But was Prince Andrew, was he a client? Was that just all fake lies? Virginia Roberts, whatever her name was now, she's dead, of course. Let's be real. If Kash Patel and Dan Bongino hadn't gotten jobs in the administration, we're still doing the podcast circle, they'd be posting right now, talking about right now, doing interviews right now about how the FBI is full of crap. Jeffrey Epstein, had $1 billion, 0 clients, and no evidence against him. And then he hung himself. And if you remember, I think he tried to do it twice. A few weeks before, he actually hung himself. I think he tried to hang himself in his cell, and that's when they put him on suicide watch. Did they not? I don't know. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe he accidentally hung himself after the cameras were accidentally turned off. Maybe he just slipped and fell off the top bunk while sleepwalking. What do you think, Ryan? Could that be it? Oh, and the guards obviously accidentally fell asleep too.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. It's peculiar. I mean, this is just coming up now. I mean, for all this time, we're hearing lists, we're hearing this, we're hearing. All of a sudden, it just takes this turn, and that's it. That's wild, man. Let's
go back a few weeks to a few months of some audio clips from people in the Trump administration telling us something completely different than a few weeks ago than what we just heard today. Play Pam Bondi first, I guess.
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI...
So they go through thousands. Okay. Alina Habba on Piers Morgan. This is in February. Quote, "It's incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, information, names. That will come out." What happened? I don't know. Play Kash Patel literally maybe a little less than 2 years ago on Benny Johnson's show talking about the Epstein files. Play that, Ryan.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing?
Oh, I saw you
give out.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that. Yeah. You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if release the names, right?
Times have changed, apparently. I don't know. When you get the job, start making the money, maybe they can't say anything. I don't know, but I'm not accepting this as an answer. Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were both charged by the federal agents, whatever, for operating a massive sex trafficking ring. It involved thousands of victims. They were both found guilty in federal court. I don't know. I can't. Maybe it's not the right time for justice yet. Like we said last show, the judges are all corrupted. The prosecutors. Look at James Comey's daughter who was on the Diddy case, Epstein case. Maybe it's just not the time yet. I don't know. But why say anything at all? Today at the press briefing, Peter Doocy demanded answers from the press secretary Levitt about Pam Bondi previously claimed the Epstein client list was sitting on her desk. Doocy. So what happened to the Epstein client list the attorney general said she had on her desk? Levitt. Well, I think if you go back and look at what the attorney general said in the interview, which was on your network at Fox News, and Doocy got short. I got the quote. John Roberts said DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said it's sitting on my desk right now to review. I got to say, Peter Doocy never questioned Karine Jean-Pierre this hard. What Pam Bondi said can be misconstrued. What Alina Habba said and what Kash Patel said, though, cannot. I'm sorry. We need answers for this. We can't just come out and say this now. And again, where is the media after Elon Musk accuses Trump of being in the files? Why did that go completely quiet? They'll go after Trump for anything except the Epstein list? Again, I thought everyone would be calling for this after Trump's name was dropped. It's weird. Is it weird or is it just me?
That's strange, yeah.
I don't know. We're just going to have to see what happens after this. I don't know. They released the 10-hour video. I heard there's about 60 seconds missing. I don't know. I'm not going to watch 10 hours of video today, tomorrow, or ever probably, of Epstein, the outside of Epstein's cell. But we're not letting this go. We are going to have to take a quick commercial break, though. When we come back, we're going to cover immigration. So stay tuned. You're listening to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP.
It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Gullah with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Gullah of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond. It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. Two things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. Oh, hi, don't mind me. This is Andy Dengel. I was just getting ready for the big Freedom United Federal Credit Union bus trip to the ballpark. Why don't you join me? Members and guests of Freedom United Federal Credit Union are invited to a special annual meeting and outing to the stadium on August 9th for a Bucco game. As I alluded to earlier, bus transportation is available and tickets even come with a food credit. Space is limited, so sign up now by visiting the Rochester office or calling 724-774-5575. Don't miss the bus to the Buccos with your friends from Freedom United Federal Credit Union on August 9th. Follow us on Facebook for more information. It's the place where the interest is in you. Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA. Equal housing lender.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. We're going to cover immigration in this segment, but first, let's introduce you to one of our other sponsors, So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing. Remember, whether you need your house washed, driveway clean, patio done, fences, gutters, you name it, call Dave from So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing at 724-252-4489. That's 724-252-4489. They're fully insured, and they offer free estimates. So what are you waiting for? Don't be the outcast in your neighborhood with a dirty house or deck. Call Dave from So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing today. Okay, so in immigration border news, the main story today was a 27-year-old man was killed after opening fire at U.S. Border Patrol in McAllen, Texas. It's from authorities. 3 federal and Texas law enforcement sources confirm an active shooter with a rifle and technical gear ambushed Border Patrol agents as they arrived at a Border Patrol annex facility in McAllen, Texas. Local police and federal agents returned fire, killing him. So again, was this another one? Was this another ambush attack like we saw with the fire stuff last year or last week? The firefighters. What makes this story strange is this morning the Atlantic published a piece demanding ICE agents reveal their identities. And the piece is wow. There's a few pieces that were released this morning. One was the Atlantic. Where is this one from? I think Libs of TikTok posted Axios. So this is from Axios. A few hours after Axios published this article, this shooting happened. And in this article, Axios says, what we're hearing. I feel like I need the title of the article here. Hold on one second here. Yeah. There needs to be blood. Democrat voters tell them to get shot in Trump resistance push. This is from Axios, 2:08 in the morning, July 7th. I'll read it again. There needs to be blood. Democrats voters tell them to get shot in Trump resistant push. What just happened today? Someone was shot going after ICE. I'll read from the article, Axios, what we're hearing. The grassroots wants more. Some of them have suggested what we really need to do is be willing to get shot. They really said this. There needs to be blood. Our own base is telling us what we're doing is not good enough. There needs to be blood to grab the attention of the press and the public, the lawmaker said. A fourth House Democrat said constituents have told them civility isn't working and to prepare for violence, to fight to protect our democracy. Arrest these people. Arrest. I can't believe I'm saying this. These are elected officials. I can't believe they're saying it either. They're telling their constituents to go out and sacrifice themselves in kamikaze attacks, basically, against ICE officials. Am I hearing this correctly? And it's just like water under the bridge. You won't hear. It's Trump's fault that the floods happen, though.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. That should be the main story on every single one. I got to go turn on Fox News as soon as I go home. I didn't know that article came out today in the morning, and then maybe the only good thing is no one really reads Axios, so the odds of that kid actually reading Axios that no one reads and then going out and shooting something, I don't know. Let's look at what the New York Times posted about the New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani, I think it is. In the article, they claim Mamdani described himself as black on his application to Columbia University. Black. I'm sure. I'm not sure. Is that worse than Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren claiming she was an American Indian and then spiking the football and taking a DNA test saying she's... there's a chance maybe Mamdani, because I think he is from Africa, technically. I don't know if he's... Maybe he can be black. I don't know, but he checked black. He doesn't look black.
He certainly doesn't appear black, no.
No. All right, what other immigration stories? Charlie Kirk. He said there are efforts from high-level people within the Trump administration pushing President Trump for a bipartisan mass amnesty deal for illegal aliens. No chance. Got to deny that immediately. What else do we have here? Do we want to? Oh yeah, this is the AP, who continues to lie. Listen to this headline. Breaking. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man who was mistakenly deported, says he was beaten, kicked, and subjected to psychological torture in El Salvadorian jail. For the last time, he's not a Maryland man. He can be called a lot of things, but you cannot call him a Maryland man. You can call him illegal, you can call him a wife beater, you can call him a human trafficker. Do not call him a Maryland man. Kilmar said he suffered severe beatings, sleep deprivation, psychological torture, blah, blah, blah. He said he was kicked and hit so often after arrival. By the following day, he had visible bruises and lumps over his body. How? We didn't see any of the bruises when the Senator Van Hollen went to see him. Remember that? We showed the pictures and everything. Remember the little sit-down and dinner they had with the cocktails? Did he look abused then? They also said he was starved, which is odd because he doesn't look like he lost a pound. He did not lose any weight. Even the president of El Salvador pointed this out. He gained weight, actually, in detention, he said.
With a lot of some of these illegal immigrants, I mean, they're getting everything handed to them. Maybe he, in his mind, believed that he was being starved because he wasn't getting the treatment that the Democrats are giving him while he was. There was that picture, though,
of him and the senator after he went to the torture prison camp. Him and Senator Van, whatever it was. Even the senator confirmed that Kilmar Garcia Parra seemed fine, looked fine. If he'd have been tortured, first of all, the sleep deprivation. When we see black circles under his eyes, it's something like that. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. There was one more. Where is it here? Oh, so apparently. Wait, where is this? The woman. Okay, right here. So apparently there was a woman with leukemia arrested by ICE, Abrela Rodriguez Marquez, and she was stripped of her U.S. residency. But that ended up being all wrong. Trisha McLaughlin corrected this. She replied to a post by the Arizona News. This is where I got this from. And apparently, this lady, Abrela Rodriguez Marquez, does not have leukemia, and she was seen by medical professionals at least 13 times. Each time, she has been found out to have no medical issues. In fact, when she was arrested by the Border Patrol for attempting to, quote, smuggle an illegal alien with fraudulent identification in her vehicle through an Arizona port of entry, she told law enforcement that she had no medical conditions and was not taking any medications. Maybe she was lying. I don't know. But went from that to leukemia. Oh, then how could ICE kidnap this poor woman with leukemia and throw her in an ICE detention facility? Well, does she even have leukemia? And she was trafficking people. Come on. All right, we got to take one more break. When we return, we're going to cover something that happened 29 years ago yesterday, the birth of the New World Order. The New World Order. Stay tuned. You listen to Thinking Logically here, 99.3 FM, WBVP.
Growth starts with community, and Clearview Federal Credit Union is thrilled to continue growing with you. We're now proud to serve Beaver County with 5 convenient financial centers throughout the area. Clearview is here to help you build a stronger financial future with personalized solutions and a passion for supporting our communities every step of the way. Learn more about how you can support your goals at clearviewfcu.org/new-view. Clearview, clearly different.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. Still got a few minutes left, enough to cover a couple anniversaries. The first anniversary. Ryan, I know you'll remember this. 29 years ago yesterday, Hulk Hogan turned his back on not only the WCW, but all the little Hulkamaniacs after he leg dropped Macho Man Randy Savage and joined Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And that was the day the NWO, the New World Order of Wrestling, brother.
Yeah, it sure did take over.
Was born.
Yes.
Wow, did that take over?
Sure did.
For a while. And the New World Order technically took over until about, maybe 5-6 months ago, until Trump got elected again. So that 29 years ago yesterday, the New World Order took over wrestling. And 29 years later, we're now dismantling the New World Order, the real New World Order, not just the kayfabe New World Order in wrestling, a real life New World Order filled with the military-industrial complex, child trafficking, other stuff. Also, speaking of anniversary, tomorrow, I believe, was it July? Is tomorrow July 8th?
It is.
3-year anniversary of the first time me and Mark sat down and recorded episode 1 of Thinking Logically from 2022.
Awesome.
How crazy. It's been 3 years. 3 years tomorrow. All right, we got about, 3 minutes left. The last thing we're going to cover, it's going to be Epstein. So, audience, remember a decade ago when ABC anchor Amy Robach was caught on a hot mic, maybe it was a hot camera actually, I can't remember, saying that Virginia Roberts told her everything about Jeffrey Epstein? She even showed her tons of evidence, pictures, everything implicated Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, everyone. But ABC forced her to spike the story after being pressured by powerful people. Ryan, play that audio of Amy Robach, an ABC News anchor.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. And I had it all 3 years ago.
And now Virginia Roberts is dead. And also, hey, there was no client list. That was all just tomfoolery, something like that. How does that make any sense after all we've heard the last decade? It can't. It doesn't. So no one signed that paper. It's all weird to me, but we live in weird times, weird the last decade has been weird and it'll get stranger. Ryan, any final thoughts before we head out?
No, just interesting show today, Joe. All these stories you talked about, I found very, very interesting.
And it's going to get more interesting as the days and weeks go on. But we'll be here for it. So every Monday and Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. on your favorite local station, 99.3 FM at WBVP. Until Thursday, this is Joe Corsai signing off for Thinking Logically. See you then.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas.